No. Oh no, 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 no. No, no, no. No, no.
We were told was you were working tonight and you came home. Where do you work at?
I'm still in my uniform. I came from the Nautica Queen.
Nautica Queen.
I didn't even get to take a shower afterwards. I've been at work since 8 a.m.
8 a.m. What time did you get home tonight? So you get home. What's going on?
So already when I was at work, he was saying, what's taking so long at work, you know?
Are you calling you or texting you?
Texting.
Texting?
Yeah. Saying, what's going on? I know you're up to something. You're just hanging out at work, having a good time. He's always been like this. I never took it serious. I just said, I'm at work. You know, you can call the Nautica.
So he's accusing you of stuff?
Yeah. And I said, you can call the Nautica Queen. They'll tell you the cruise times. They'll tell you that I'm on the boat. I'm stuck on the water. There's nothing I can do. And he was just upset. I guess it was a hard day with the kids and, you know, the house and just everything. And when I walked in the door, he was standing at the top of the landing. And he had a mean face. And I came up and I went to take my apron off. I went in the room. And he let me walk past him. I went up to the room. He said, what took you so long at work? Why was you at work all day? And you didn't have no breaks in between. And he was just asking me questions like that. And honestly, I just had a long day and I started screaming. I said, stop asking me questions. I just got off work. He pulled out a gun. And I know the gun. I've seen the gun before. It's for protection for our household. We have rowdy neighbors in the street. And I know that this gun was for protection. He pulled it out. And he just was like, tell me the truth. Where was you at? And I said, I was at work. I said, you can call the Nautica, you can call my managers, whoever you'd like to get a clock out slip. I explained to him that he could check any option possible.
At this point, is he waving the gun at you?
He had it like in his hip and he was just like that. Like, just tell me where you are, where you were.
So he's not pointing at you,
no,
he's just
not
got
yet.
his hand on it.
Yeah, at the time.
Okay, is it in his waistband?
Yeah, it was like at his waist. Then he took it out. And I wasn't telling him no lies. I was telling him the truth. I said, I'm at work. There's nothing, nothing. He thought maybe it was guys I was hanging out with. I don't know. So he started screaming. And like I said, he took the gun out of his waist. He said, I'm going to tell you one more time. Tell me one more time. And I said, there was nothing going on. You know, I was telling him there was nothing else. Nothing, no cheating. He always thought I was up to something when I was at work or just anything I was doing. If I was going to the corner store. And all of a sudden, I turned around. Honestly, I wanted to like run out the door because I was scared. He had the gun, he was screaming, and I didn't think it was loaded, obviously. I wouldn't think he'd have it loaded with kids in the house, of course. If he kept it under the mattress, so that's like a non-safe spot, you know, like to have a loaded gun. So once he pulled it out of there, I seen that he put it in his hip, and I'm like, okay, you don't have it loaded. So I'm yelling at him, screaming back, saying, stop arguing, I don't want to hear it no more. I went to walk out the house because he was getting violent and just loud. As soon as we opened the door, he went up the stairs to take like a few steps to go up, and then he turned back around, and he pulled the gun out again. And this time he had it out of his waist, in his hand. He's like, what the fuck was you doing? And then all of a sudden I heard a big pop. And I was at this point walking out the door. I was going to try to open the door and walk out. And that's when I heard the pop. And the door was already open once it popped. So I turned around and I seen that he had a hole right here. It looked like in his chest area. I didn't see the hole, but I seen blood. And he was holding it. And he said it was loaded. And I said, why would you have a loaded gun?
You're at the front door.
Right.
That's the door you're...
Like the landing, stairways.
So... front door, and then to the right is the steps, and then like all the kids' shoes are right there.
Right.
So right there.
Like a few steps up. Like it was on the stairway.
So that's where it shouts up?
That's when I heard the bullet. I heard the sound of the gun. I wasn't facing his direction. I was like running and I was just trying to get out the
So
house.
you were on the steps?
Right.
Okay.
Where was he at?
At the top of the landing. Because I was going down, he was at the top.
So you didn't see him pull the trigger?
No, absolutely not. I didn't even think he pulled the trigger. I thought maybe it shook and just popped. Because had it kind of like aggressively, like yelling and just, I thought maybe that's what happened, that it maybe just popped off. But he wouldn't have shot himself. I'm almost positive. So that doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't have shot himself.
Have you touched that gun before?
I have.
When was the last time you touched the firearm?
Today, after he had it, it dropped to the floor. And I looked at it. I said, "It's loaded!" And I grabbed it because the kids were upstairs. And I didn't know if it was going to go off on the floor. I didn't know if he shook it and it went off. I didn't know if it was triggered by something. And I grabbed the gun and I don't know if I grabbed him first. I think I grabbed him first. And I picked him up and I said, "Let's call the ambulance." I was looking for my phone. I was in panic. I didn't see the phone. So we went outside on the front porch, like I said, and there was neighbors already outside. And that's when I told the neighbors, "Please call 911." And I had the gun and he was right there. But I set the gun somewhere, I believe, because when I seen he was bleeding, I went to cover him up.
So you went upstairs and grabbed the gun?
Well, we were on the stairway, so like I said, he was at the top of the landing. When I heard the gun, I ran up. I didn't even know he had like bullets in it, like I said. So when I went up and the gun went off, I seen he was bleeding, and I said, "Oh my God, it was loaded!" And I like.
So where was the gun at then, when you picked it up?
I think at the top of the landing.
And then what'd you do with it?
I was honestly so worried about him that I don't even remember like what I did with the gun. I just remember like I was like, "Oh my God, it was loaded!" Like I didn't know if it was real or a dream. I just seen a hole in him, and like that's when I lost it. That's when I realized it was real because the bullet, the sound. I didn't know for sure what was going on until I seen that he was bleeding, and then that's when I went into shock.
So when he was handling his gun, is he right-handed or left-handed?
Honestly, I think he used both hands, but I think he was more right-handed. With the gun, I think he had it in the right hand. I'm not even sure.
Is he right-handed or left-handed?
He's right-handed.
He's right-handed.
Not real right now. I'm gonna dream or something.
So you were walking down the steps when you heard the gunshot?
I was kind of like running.
Down the steps?
Yes, I was running out the house. I was trying to get to the front door.
Running around the house, you hear the pop.
I thought it was at me for a second, and I kind of kept running, and then I realized I'm not hit. So I looked behind me because it's in the house with the kids, and that's when he was like, "It was loaded," and he just said it was loaded, and that's all I heard. And I was like, "Why is the gun loaded?"
Is this the whole truth?
Yes.
We have some discrepancies with that. Okay. The doctor at the hospital said it wasn't self-inflicted, and that angle of the bullet was in the center chest, but it exited right lower back. There was a GSR test done on you.
I know.
So is there a chance that you shot him? You have to be honest with this.
I know. I thought he was gonna shoot me.
Okay. This time forward, let's go with the whole truth, okay? Because you do have 3 little kids that are gonna need a mom, so we need the whole truth.
I don't care to be here. You guys could take me forever. But I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I'll probably die in prison. But the honest truth,
Yeah.
yes. I came in from work. Thought I was out having a fun time out with guys. I was at work. I came inside. It's not the first time he pulled the gun on me. And yeah, I took it.
I see you guys have a history. So,
I don't want to say
I
please.
understand. So, you come home, you're mad.
No, he came at me with the gun. I would never, ever do that in the house with the kids. Ever. I would never even shoot the gun at him. He was coming at me with it, and I just remember
Where is this happening at right
upstairs.
now? In the room, in the hallway?
And out in the hallway.
In the hallway?
I just took my apron off.
Okay.
I didn't know where my phone was. He was yelling and screaming. I barely even remember, honest to God, how it went. Because he was screaming, he was mad. I seen the gun. I kind of got just nervous because he took it out before. And he said, "It's loaded." And he set it down on the table. And that's when I turned around. I went to run down the stairs because I was scared. I thought, he's going to try to shoot me. I don't know. And once I went to run, he came with the gun. And he's like, "Tell me one more time." And then he broke down like he was crying. He was like, I started crying.
Where is this at now?
In the stairway, like at the landing.
Okay, the landing.
And that's when I took the gun from him. And he said, "It's loaded." He told me again. He said, "It's loaded, Brandy." And he was running at, like, following me down the stairs. And he said, "It's loaded." And I said, "Stop chasing me." And he kept following me. And I didn't even realize that I was pressing the trigger that hard. And I obviously done it.
So where were you at? Where were you at when you were pressing the trigger?
To be honest, this whole night is a blur. I couldn't even tell you where I shot him. I don't know.
You said you were running down the stairs.
I was running down the stairs and he was coming after me, so I don't know if it was at like right in front of the door or if it was at the landing, but he was coming at me and I turned around. I don't know how to shoot. I never shot a gun in my life. And I didn't even think that it was loaded. He kept telling me it was loaded, but he said that many times and it wasn't loaded just to scare me. So I'm thinking, okay, he's just saying this. And he was coming at me and I just,
So when he put the gun on the nightstand, he told you it was loaded.
yes, he did say it was loaded.
And then you said somebody.
But he said that many times and it was never loaded.
When he put it down and you grabbed it, where was he at?
When I went to try to grab it, when it was on the nightstand, and he pushed me out the way, and he said it was loaded, and then he started crying. Once he did the breakdown, that's when I grabbed the gun. Because he was in like, and like he grabbed it off the nightstand, so it was in his hand when he was crying. And I grabbed it from him out of his hand, and I ran down the stairs, and that's when I ran down the stairs, he was following behind me. And that's when I turned around and I said, "Stop chasing me, stop." And he just kept coming at me. I love him to death, but he's threatened me so many times, and I just didn't know what to do. We've been together 10 years.
With each other 10 years?
Yeah. Since kids, he's the father of my kids. I would never do this to him on purpose. I was
When did the gun enter the house? How long have you guys had the gun?
just 8 months.
8 months? So in that 8 months with that gun in the house, how many times has that gun been brought out with domestic violences?
Just once.
Just one other time, besides tonight was one other time.
He's threatened, of course, to bring it out, but he's only brought it out once.
Is that count tonight or?
No, this was the second time.
The second time. So it's your brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. And, you put a gun to your head? How long ago was that?
Like 6
months ago.
6 months ago?
Maybe 5.
Have you told your brothers? What brothers do you have?
8,
8 brothers?
But 5 of them, 4 of them are step, 4 of them are real, like, not my real brothers. So 4 of the real brothers know.
How often do you guys get in domestic fights?
honestly, it hasn't been often because my daughter's getting bigger. I just do what he says, just listen and do whatever I can. So it's not a fight.
How often does it get physical?
It hasn't been physical in years since the last case when I called the cops.
So it hasn't been physical in years?
Yeah.
But he put a gun in your head.
Well, of course, that was
Was
that
that
the
recorded?
last one. No, I didn't record it.
Did the children ever witness that?
No, they did not. So I had them at a sitter that night, and I think that's why he took advantage of that.
So the children, if they witnessed any of the violence?
Back in the day, when I called the cops, he held me hostage in the house.
Was the gun bought legally or was it bought off the streets? Streets. Did you buy it or did you buy it? What's that?
He bought it.
Bought it. How much did you pay for it?
I'm not even sure. I never wanted a gun. He hid it from me for a few months.
Where do you normally keep it?
Underneath the mattress when I finally found out. But before I found out, I had no clue.
How far away do you think he was when you fired the shot from
He was very close. He was running closer and closer. I didn't want to do it. I waited till last minute.
you? So
You were on the phone.
feet, how many feet would you say?
I'd say maybe 2 or 3 feet.
So we're talking like this close to you?
You think he was on like the second or third step then?
Yeah, or maybe even at the landing while I was running out the door. I was like trying to get out the door, and I turned around and there he was, and it just was like an instant thing. I didn't even try to aim it at him. Like I just pulled the trigger, and it was just like instant. It hit him. So I'm gonna probably be in jail for the rest of my life, right?
That I don't know. We don't make them decisions at all. What we do is, when we're done interviewing you, we're gonna contact the prosecutor and explain him the circumstances, and then the prosecutor will advise us what to do. We have no judgment over that. I am gonna ask, for your consent for your DNA. That's just to compare it to the gun. The incident tonight, did your kids see any of it?
Absolutely not. They were in bed. But as soon as it happened, I started screaming, but and neighbors called 911, and then a few minutes later, my oldest came downstairs. She heard screaming. She didn't get to see the. Well, of course she seen him upstairs, but she didn't get to see him. I said, go upstairs. It's my fault. I should have just left.
So we're gonna ask you again on this, just to verify that we are documenting this right. So you came home to your argument, right?
He was mad the whole time I was at work all day.
So he's accusing you of things when you come home. You're in the bedroom, right? And he puts the gun on the nightstand and tells you it's loaded, right? And then
Then
he takes the gun off. And So he cowered down like he was crying?
Yeah, I think he was just having a breakdown.
Crying, breakdown, that's right.
Like he was gonna shoot me, but he didn't want to. It seemed like I feared that maybe that was what he was thinking.
Where is he actually, like, having his breakdown at?
Right by the bed, like at the foot of the bed.
Foot of the bed.
So then I ran down the stairs.
But you got a gun from him.
So he couldn't try to do anything with it.
Then you ran down the stairs and he chased you, right? And then when he got within 2 to 3 feet of you, you shot him, right? Down the stairs, right? We're gonna challenge that statement right now. The scientific evidence is not gonna show that. The evidence that we collected on scene doesn't show that. Okay.
Struck him in the chest, did a downward exit on his back. That would be impossible from being on the stairs.
Well, I said he was coming down the stairs, so it was probably
So
at the
it would've
landing
been-
at the bottom once he got,
It-
because I was running out the door, but
the
it was still
bullet-
inside the house.
The bullet would have went up then through his chest. and
If he was
his
up the
shoulder.
stairs, right. He wasn't up top, he was running down, and I was going out the door, so by the time I turned around, he was probably at the
We
bottom.
know-
know that's not even possible.
The spent shell casing is upstairs on the second floor.
The shell,
So when you shoot a gun, it ejects to the right.
Showcasing.
so I shot him upstairs.
Yes.
He was coming after me.
There's the bedroom, right? He was in the room when you.
See, I just got off work and I had a few drinks and I was emotionally, just a mess when he was coming at me with all these things. So it could have been upstairs, but even then, I know he was chasing me. I had to, turn around and just
And then you would have had to run upstairs to put the gun where it was located at.
I dropped it.
And it was upstairs,
Right.
on the second story.
Then that's where,
Upstairs.
then that's where it happened then. But I do know that, he was coming at me, arguing, just violent, and I didn't want to even grab the gun. I was scared of the gun. But I knew that if I didn't grab it, then he was gonna do something. I could just tell by it. He was like, "Ah!" and like fell like to the bottom of the bed, like, on the floor. And started screaming like that and just breaking down. And I just ran. And I honestly thought that I grabbed the gun and ran down the stairs. But obviously, if you're saying it was upstairs, then I shot upstairs and ran and dropped the gun. Because I know I didn't carry the gun downstairs.
The gun was on the second story,
Upstairs.
upstairs, a few feet away from the spent casing. He was shot.
So as soon as it happened, I dropped it. I didn't, it was so quickly and it all happened so fastly. And like I said, I did have a few drinks tonight and I got off work and he was screaming and it happened literally in, I'd say, 10 seconds. It was just so quickly that I just don't really barely remember. I remember running down the stairs as soon as it happened and I yelled, "Somebody call 911." So I remember being on the front porch. I remember running down those stairs and it just happened so quickly that it had to been up at the top landing then, if anything. And I ran down the stairs to tell the neighbors to call the ambulance or the cops.
You gave us very consistent, probably 3 or 4 times that you had the gun in your hand, you ran downstairs, and he came after you, and he was at probably the second or third step, and when you shot him.
The landing upper.
Well, it's the truth, it doesn't change. Okay.
I know, but like I
So
said,
I know it's a, extremely traumatic experience, but again, the truth doesn't change.
I understand.
So you have to look at it in the eyes of the people that
That we're not there. I understand.
right? And they're gonna look at this and say, she changed her statement so many times. And it sounds like you're changing it more and more just to kind of cover up
I was just
And
scared at first, I know.
That we can't, we need to know the truth, okay? What's gonna hurt you is by continuing to lie.